Okay, so what's going on, everybody? This is Kevin Rudolph from Team Infamous, and the NXL released their field layout yesterday, and I just kind of wanted to go over some quick little thoughts on the layout. Everybody gets super pumped these days, for the Wednesday 2 weeks before they know that the field layout's coming out, and most of the off-season teams are just kind of practicing on some random layouts just to keep the wheels greased and the tools sharpened. So everybody's pretty stoked and excited for this layout to come out, so they know what they can start directing their attention towards, and really hammer home some fine-tuning plays and figuring out where they're going to be, what they think might happen. And I just wanted to kind of go over briefly some quick thoughts on the layout right off the gate. And this isn't anything super in-depth and detailed. Obviously, I have to play the tournament, so does my team, and I'm not going to give away anything that I think could jeopardize my team's chance at the event. But I am just going to kind of break down some quick thoughts on what I initially see just from looking at the map. Everything changes once you get boots on the ground and start really looking at some of the nooks and crannies of where the field layout could have some cool little spots that you can maneuver around and that you can't really tell from just looking at a map. So I kind of pulled up both the layout images here provided by NXL. They give you that corner angle and then the start box angle. And then, of course, the bird's eye view overhead. So, when my team sent the photo on group text and was like, "Hey, layout's out. Check it out. Looks pretty sweet." My first initial thoughts were, this field has a lot of similarities to the Dallas layout that we won last year. So, I was pretty stoked about that. I did notice that they kept these little cakes next to the W, which I think is their way of kind of making it so that you can't hug this edge right here and you basically run straight into someone. You kind of have to work your way around it and going around the side of it, where I guess you have to change your velocity going around this, your speed. Got to kind of cut around it instead of just coming straight down through here. Chances are you might get caught out in the open a little bit easier. So most guys are probably going to have to come around it instead of just hauling ass right along this edge and potentially running right into another person. Everybody knows that Trevor Reeser on my team last year had a very scary accident and ran right into another player and lost his goggles. So I think this is a good way of kind of preventing that from happening. If there are guys here matched up, mirrored up, you kind of come around, stand right here, and can shoot him instead of running right into each other. So that's one of the first things I kind of noticed was that I have a feeling that this is going to be a reoccurring theme here with these cakes. Other than that, they have a back center, two corners, which, sometimes we've seen them get rid of this back center completely to force people out wider than staying in the center. And I'm kind of a back mid player for my team, so I kind of looked at these spots real quick and was just kind of like, okay, you can get out here and kind of protect the wire a little bit. And then, the back center, what shots he kind of has on the break, kind of shooting through here in this zone. The Dorito corner looks like it's something that, if you make it out wide here, you're going to be able to wrap on a lot of these inside on these guys right here and right here. Potentially making it a lot easier for you to contain these guys over here if they can't make it out wide. But with that being said, it also looks like you can make it out to these spots pretty easy. There's not a whole lot of open gaps right here for you to get shot through. They kind of block that with well, you can shoot over this pin, but this can right here is kind of blocking this zone right here. You might be able to squeak some in through there and catch a guy on the break. It looks to me like, this guy can come here and be cross. This guy can come here and be cross. That's something that, as much as people hate on it, you have to look at nowadays. You have to look at where you can lock the field up, what spots can slow the game down, what spots can, really contain people. Now this guy necessarily isn't going to have a whole lot of cross field just because this is a little messy up in here, shooting at these guys. It looks like you can be pretty aggressive on the Dorito side. It looks like it's going to be more of a kind of traditional wrap and go, wrap, go, wrap, go, wrap, go. Then, some of the layouts where we've seen where, you need your support guy helping you the whole way down the field. It looks like, you can kind of move on your own, be a little bit more individual, play over here and make things happen. It's kind of interesting how, this corner is so far inset from this tape line. We've seen sometimes where they have the corner all the way out here where, you barely have any out of bounds space, but looks like this corner guy is here. Obviously, it's a far shot, so you can blind shoot your mirror. You're not going to be able to stop. You're not going to be able to stop this 50 Dorito guy from getting here and wrapping around on these guys. So that's good for, the front guys over here making moves. And I'll be the first to admit it. When I first looked at this layout, I was like, okay, man, the snake looks pretty sweet. I was looking at it on my phone. I was like, snake looks pretty sweet. I like how they have the W's. It's kind of like a traditional ladder snake. And then I did a double take, and I'm like, wait a second. What's going on there? Looks a little weird. So then I looked at this map, and I'm like, oh man, there's a gap right here. So there's a gap through all of these, and almost every field layout we've played the last couple seasons, you haven't really had anything sort of like this where you can, no matter what, even if you have a guy in this corner right here, he can't stop this snake guy at all. So it's forcing you to be in the snake with, their snake guy, and it's kind of interesting. I think it'll make for some exciting action. You're going to see guys in here and get surprised by a dude that they might not know is there, or even better, if you come in here and you can just slither in your way all the way down here and get to here, and none of these guys can really stop you. This guy definitely, the corner guy, can't stop you. Unless, he happens to be like maybe wrapping around and shooting right through here. But, you can come all the way to here, all the way to their side of the field and all the way to here and start getting some really good cross-field shots on these guys without anybody really knowing or being able to stop you. So it's kind of exciting. I'm interested to see how it's going to play out. The traditional ladder snake I've always, really enjoyed just because I've been the front guy doing the head-on-head battle, and you always get that sense of gratification when you can work as a team with your back guy to put in their back guy, put in their snake guy, and then make moves down to their side of the field. It's more of a traditional kind of 10-man, 7-man style, which I've always really enjoyed that aspect of the snake side because, it's hard to get that trust with your corner guy and the skill set it takes just to move your way down the field. And, in this sense, they eliminated that aspect of it, but at the same time, they're making it so that you have to be the aggressor and you have to be smart about it, because there's all kinds of ways that this could totally backfire, while you're moving down the field. You could potentially be, think that this whole side's clear, and if your team isn't on track of it, there could be a guy in here waiting for you, and you could just get domed right on top of the head, tore to pieces as you come flying around here thinking that this whole side's wide open. So that's kind of cool. I think it'll be really interesting to see how teams handle that and how teams play that. A lot of the technical side of paintball has also transitioned into different bounce shots, looking at the field differently than just what meets the eye, straight on, head on, blind shots. You even got to think about the bounce shot game, and the bounce shots are going to be really important on this field. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of bounce shots with the way the snake's laid out. There's always some sort of bounce shot off of these pins and into places. I'm sure you'll be able to bounce shot off of here, maybe into here. These are kinds of things that you can't really figure out until you get on the layout itself, and start kind of just testing it and seeing what works, what doesn't work. That's something that comes Sunday. Your team better know the bounce shots, because if your team does not know the bounce shots by Sunday, chances are you're going to be kicking yourself when you get hit by one and you're like, well, I didn't know that was there. I didn't, so, and a lot of teams utilize that kind of thing to get the little edge on people, and that's one good thing about having the layouts released early, is you're able to practice that kind of stuff, and, you got to be smarter than the next team out there to help solidify your chance of winning the match. And there was time periods where you showed up to the field for the tournament. There was a couple different layouts, and you didn't know what they were going to be until you showed up. And I love that. I think that's awesome. I would love to do that, just because it takes a creative mind to set game plans for a layout that you've never seen before, and try things, and you got to have real teamwork on the fly when you're thrown into a situation that you haven't had a chance to practice. So make sure that you utilize having the layout released early, and if your team isn't able to afford to practice 2 weekends before the tournament, real hard knuckle grinding, playing points, doing all the bounce shots and shooting on the break, and just 2 weekends before the tournament because you're saving money to go to the tournament. That's not to say that you can't go to a field that has the field layout set up and walk the field, learn every single spot, not just the spot that you're going to play. Maybe even just use a case of paint and try, some laning, some situational things. But really, and most important is just being on the layout, getting out there, walking the field, like I said, learning each spot, really getting to know every nook and cranny of that field layout. And no matter what, Field A is going to be different than Field B, and Field B is going to be different than Field A and C. And a lot of the divisional teams that make it to Sunday understand what I'm talking about, because you go from your divisional layout that you've been playing, Thursday and Friday and Saturday, and then come Sunday you have to play on the pro field, where it's going to be different than the other fields you've been playing the entire tournament. And being able to walk the field and really walking the field is a skill set in its own, because you need to be able to find the little different nuances from field to field. And one of the things that can really help with that is watching pro matches or watching matches on a field that you might be playing later, and not just getting tunnel vision on your one field or the one field layout that you got to practice. You got to be kind of open-minded to little things that can change, and little things like, for example, how this is set up right here with these 3 pins. So these 2 pins are kind of inset on this line right here, but this middle pin is dead center on the 50, and then this vertical line right here. Now, it doesn't seem like much, but when you get to the tournament, this could be a couple feet this way, it could be a couple feet this way, it could be in line with these, and that could change the shot for this tower right here, shooting his mirror heads up, or even, if it's out here even more, it could, potentially mess up, maybe this guy's shot. That's kind of a stretch, but if it's out here more, maybe this guy is able to shoot this and bounce into here. There's all kinds of things that can change, little things that can change from mirror to mirror. Like right now, this is kind of set right here where I think you should be able to see your mirror down the line right here, but this, like I said, this could be off a little bit and kind of blocking this. So yeah, you would still probably be able to blind shoot your mirror, but you could get sneaky with it and kind of maybe not shoot at him and wrap and then go to the next spot. It just, little things like that can change from layout to layout. No 2 fields are going to be perfect. No matter how well you grid it and analyze where this corner is on this little line right here, like the way that this is set up, it's kind of different, So there can be little variants, but overall, I think the field layout is nice. I think there's going to be tons of action. The center of the field looks like it has tons of options going up through the center with the way that they have the tower and kind of the pins around the W. It looks like you're going to be able to also play a slow, controlled game by maybe crossing it up with some of these bunkers in the back line. And then at the same time, we have a whole different snake setup that we haven't seen in a long time, where you are able to crawl all the way around and potentially to their side of the field without anybody really being able to stop you. There's a lot going on here, and I think it's going to make for an exciting event. Overall, I'm looking forward to get out there this weekend. My team is going to San Antonio to practice X Factor. They're a great team to practice against because they're going to give us tons of looks. They have a couple new guys that will give us some new looks up in the center. And I think overall it should be exciting. So, all right, thanks for watching. This is Kevin Rudulph from Falcon Sports. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and let me know what you think of the layout. Comment on this video and share it. Comment. Let me know what you think, and look forward to hearing your feedback. Thanks. Bye.